Hi, this is Benjamin Rubenstein, and this is a video for the Kinyan Torah project for the Young Israel of Memphis. Today's topic is reluctance to judge. In Perkei Avos, we have a pasuk that, we have two psukim, but the second pasuk that discusses the idea of judging people favorably is in Perek Beis pasuk Hey, and the lashon is V'al tadin es chavercha ad shetagia l'makomo, that you're not supposed to judge your fellow until you have reached his place. So I'd like to pose a question of how do we understand the word shetagia l'makomo? What does it mean what does it really mean? What's really going on when you put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and how does that allow you to judge somebody, and how could that allow us to possibly judge somebody favorably? So first, I'd like to discuss what kind of judging we're talking about. I'd like to propose that there are two different types of judgings. There's using judgment, which is a good thing, and then there's being judgmental, which is a bad thing. So how do we differentiate between these two things? And basically, what's the difference between them? So in the Ramchal's Mesillas Yesharim, he titles the first chapter of his book as Be'or Klal Chovas Ha'adam Ba'olamo, that man's duty in his world. It's a very interesting lashon because he uses the word Ba'olamo instead of the word Ba'olam, in the world. So why this strange lashon? So my Rav, when I was in Eretz Yisrael, told me that there's no two people that have the same world. Everybody has his own world, and each has his own duty in his lifetime, and no one is being judged in comparison to anybody else. So with this idea, I'd like to propose the following: that when you use judgment, that's talking about things that affect your world. For example, you look at somebody and you say, oh, that person's a bad influence, I shouldn't hang out with them because it'll negatively affect me. That's using judgment in a good way. And then being judgmental, I would like to propose, is things that don't affect your world, things that are in somebody else's world. Basically looking at somebody and saying, oh, that person is not shomer this mitzvah or whatever it is, not as firm as I am. That's not something that's directly affecting you, that's something external, and that's something that shouldn't affect you, and that's being judgmental. It's a bad thing. So it's obvious that Hashem wants us to use our judgment in this world. It's a necessary thing in order to protect ourselves. But I believe that Perkei Avos is warning us that we have to learn to differentiate between the two, and that we have to be cautious not to become judgmental people. The challenge is really to turn these judgmental tendencies that we have as individuals into using proper judgment. And perhaps we can understand shetagia l'makomo, the lashon that Perkei Avos uses, of putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes, if we combine it together with this idea of the Ramchal of everybody being in his own world. Maybe by trying to put ourselves in another's shoes, what we're actually doing is bringing that person into our world. And if we're able to do this, then by definition, we'd be moving the person from a category of their world, where we are being judgmental towards them, to a category of our world, where we use proper judgment in dealing with them. So that's just my idea and my thoughts on it. And we should all be zocheh to use our judgment to better ourselves and not pass judgment on others in an unfavorable light, and that we should, as Ras Hashem, continue growing as a kehillah together. Thank you.